Hey guys, welcome back. It's your girl Toy T, and this is my recap and review of Season 4, Episode 9, Getting Serious, and Season 4, Episode 10, Getting It from Being Mary Jane. Now, I didn't do one last week because I was on vacation. Like, it was spring break. I was in the Caribbean just enjoying the sun, and when I came back to watch last week's episode of Being Mary Jane, Getting Serious, I just did not feel like I needed to make a review or recap, and it could just wait until the next week. And since this is since episode 10 is the mid-season finale, I thought it was the season finale. I guess this is how Gabrielle Union was able to negotiate with BET, who was trying to play her and make her have a longer season and pay her the same amount of money, and she sued them. And so I guess instead of making it a super long 20 episode season, they just still did that, but just made a season break so she can take a break and then continue to film some of it. So anyway, I told you, I don't know, it's so hard to get through this, and this is why I had to double up like this. I hate it, but there's not really much to say. In episode 9, Getting Serious, there was really just like, I don't know, like two main plot lines. One of them was Cara and her sexy boy toy, and I still need to figure out where I know him from, but her sexy boy toy, Orlando, the baseball player who's now a sportscaster, and she was dating him while she was him, and he suggested that they actually get serious, and Cara was, she was hesitant about it. I don't know why. I mean, maybe because mommy's in her 40s, and I guess Orlando's supposed to be in his late 20s, and she was really afraid of getting hurt. And I guess that makes sense. She is a divorced mother with 2 kids. It seems like marriage didn't just work out very well for her the first time, so maybe she is being super cautious, especially since Orlando is famous. He is an athlete. He is rich. He is good looking, and he's also been seen with lots of other ladies, not while she's been dating him, but just in general. He's dated around a lot, so she's afraid that she'll become his flavor of the month, even though she did improve her sex skills. So I mean, I would think that he probably would take that and move on, but doesn't seem that way. He's falling for Cara. Maybe he's like Usher. I can't think of anybody else who likes older women, but Usher's one of them. Like, maybe he just likes older women, and so maybe Cara is exactly what he needs. Someone who's focused, who's driven, who isn't looking to get pregnant and have his baby, and who has her head on her shoulders and has other things going for her, and that can actually can help him develop as a man, as a in his career, if he wants to go over into sports casting. And so maybe that's what he sees in her, but he convinces her to go into this relationship. Cara's like, okay. As soon as they do that, they actually announce it. Garrett calls her into the newsroom, and they show her this clip where Orlando announces on air that he has a girlfriend and that it's Cara. They put up her picture. Everyone's like, congratulations. Oh my gosh. I was thinking that she was getting a promotion the way they were celebrating. It's like, why do you care who she's dating? But especially since he's already working there. But anyway, as soon as it does that, of course, it goes into the TMZ world, and the media picks it up, and they're taking pictures of her, the paparazzi, and, oh, look at his older MILF, girlfriend, and da-da-da. And this is really getting to Cara, even though there's perks to it. So Garrett actually invites her to this super exclusive executives only, network executives only poker game that she's been trying to get into, that has the Matt Lauers of the world at this poker game. And so it does have some perks that as soon as she got this high profile relationship, that she was able to enter into these doors. But sadly, the way this ends is that she decides to break up with him because of insecurities. As much as she's been kicking Mary Jane's ass for being insecure, messing up her own relationships, Cara goes right along ahead and does exactly what she's been telling Mary Jane not to do, and she fucks up this relationship. This guy is really into her. He's like, I love you. And she looks at him like, he's like, I want to be with you. Like, I'm out, but I'm coming home to you. I'm not, messing around with anybody else. And she just cannot get over it. She's like, I need to focus on my career. I didn't come here to have a relationship. But it's like, I know you didn't come here to be dead. I mean, just because you have 2 kids and you have, an ex-husband and you have this career doesn't mean that your life is dead. Like, come on, Cara. You don't want to wake up 60 years old, executive producer of some show, and you're lonely. So, especially when someone is there who supports your career, who understands what you're, semi-understands at least, because he's now getting into this, someone you can grow with that actually opens doors for you. I mean, it really is about, relationships really is about, like, what do you bring to the table? How can we upgrade each other? I mean, when you see Beyonce and Jay-Z, it wasn't like getting with one or the other was an upgrade for only one of them. It was an upgrade for both of them. They bring things to the table, and I think the same thing could happen with Cara and Orlando, but she shuts that down. He's like, tell me that you don't love me, and she's like, lying to herself and lying to him. He's like, if I walk out that door, I'm not coming back. And so he walks out the door, and Cara starts crying because she knows that she really does care about him, but she fucked this up because of she's afraid that he's gonna leave her for the next I don't know, Gigi Hadid or whatever her name is, Bella Hadid or Selena Gomez, one of them. She's afraid he's gonna leave her for some hot to trot model or a celebrity and get her heart broken. And so that ends that story. I was like wanting to go into the TV and slap Cara. I was like, oh my gosh, am I sitting down and watching her be Mary Jane? Cara, I was rooting for you. You were supposed to be my girl who has her head on her shoulders and it's like, rational, makes sense. But, all things in love don't make sense. For Mary Jane, what comes up with that is that we come back to finding out what happened between after Lee's baby mama, Zoe, asked him for his sperm to make another baby with her lesbian lover, and Lee tells Mary Jane that he decided after he really sat down and thought about it, because of course Mary Jane gets upset that he asks her to give him time to think about this, because she's thinking he should automatically say no. But I mean, this is a woman he was in a relationship with. He obviously loves her as the mother of his children, as someone he used to have a relationship with, and someone he has children with. And so it makes sense for him to, not seem to have rushed and made this like rushed decision of no, and maybe in the back of his mind he regrets it. So he goes and he goes and thinks about it, comes back and tells Mary Jane that he doesn't want to have a baby with anybody else except for her. And he thinks, because of the relationship, that it would make things too complicated. So he told Zoe no. And Mary Jane's happy about this, and she's like, I want to have a baby. I want to have your babies, and I'm fertility challenged. And he said, I'm more than willing to go to a fertility clinic and give my business into a cup so that it can fertilize an egg of yours so we can make a baby. So this is good stuff. On the career front for Mary Jane, her and Justin are getting closer. They're really trying to find a way to get her into that anchor seat to knock Rhonda out. And this one thing that they come up with is this idea of Rhonda picking up this old story of this, not an old story, but a story she did a year before on this online bullying, this woman who, life was ruined after someone leaked some of her text messages. And so now she lives in the Virgin Islands, and so they suggest it as something to get her out. So the whole idea is that she would go down to the Virgin Islands for like 2 days, 2 days, to go do this follow-up interview with this woman, and Cara would go to as her producer, and this would give Mary Jane the opportunity to sub in as the co-anchor with the Aaron, I think his name is Aaron, who is the male lead anchor. And so after that is set, and there's talking about it as producers, they're trying to figure out who would take take who will sit in the chair. Of course, Rhonda is suggesting everyone but Mary Jane. Mary Jane stays cool. Justin kind of figures out a way for her to pitch to Aaron to come at him straight, to be, you know, no nonsense, to come confident, and she does go and makes her, you know, you know, goes and tries to convince him why she should be his co-anchor, his sub co-anchor, and he seems to really like her, and he's like, okay, I like it. And of course, Rhonda finds a way to fuck this up because she is, she's a cunt. Not even a bitch, she's a cunt. And so she comes back early from the Virgin Islands. Doesn't tell Cara, just leave in the middle of the night. Actually takes the lady that she's supposed to be interviewing and brings her to the studio in New York and interviews her on air in the studio. And so of course Mary Jane doesn't get to sit in the anchor seat. She's already getting done up by the makeup artist just to see Rhonda walk by, and her face just cracks. She's like upset, and which makes sense, but Rhonda was just like, girl, you know, you thought you got me, but I got you, which is definitely, you know, brava for Rhonda on the petty. She's a seasoned player in this game of petty. And so the major thing that happens in this episode is that Justin goes in for a kiss on Mary Jane, and of course she lets him. She just all over. I mean, who wouldn't? You got Michael Ealy. I'm not even talking about Justin, but Michael Ealy's fine ass in your face, and you got them blue eyes looking at you. I think I would be going in for the kiss too and letting him kiss me. And so that happens. Mary Jane feels kind of awkward. They kind of just both kind of walk off after this happens. It happens in her office. And so that is that with this episode. On 10, getting it, we finally see it just picks up right from that where the last one left off, and Justin is still trying to figure out how to get Mary Jane in that anchor seat. And so he actually finds out from that previous story with the online bullying that the woman actually lied. She was the one, she had accused somebody of hacking her texts and posting it on a blog site or a discussion site or a forum or whatever, but just, you know, putting her business on blast. And it turns out that this person did hack her, but they did not post it. She posted it herself. And so he's going to use this to prove that Rhonda has not vetted her sources, that she has put out a false story, which would definitely get her suspended and get Mary Jane put into the anchor seat. So he goes and he does this. Mary Jane's all for it. She's like, I'm step back, I don't want to look too dirty on this. He does it. Garrett does see Garrett and the higher ups see this, and they definitely agree that she needs to be suspended. And so she ends up getting suspended, and Mary Jane does get the anchor seat. And so there's a lot of other stuff that happened in between, but that's the main thing that she was waiting on to hear. She would get the anchor seat. But once she gets the anchor seat, so she has to go into the office. Her and Justin were actually hanging out at her apartment studio, hotel room, sorry, the hotel room, which I still don't understand how she's still living in a hotel. Like, girl, your brother is a real estate agent. Like, he's a broker. Let him go find you something. Go find a starter home in New York and then move on to something else. It's just like so ridiculous that she's still living in a hotel, because I know it costs more money than if she was actually paying a mortgage on a condo in Manhattan, in Brooklyn, in Westchester, in, I don't know, Long Island City, in if she bought a mansion in New Jersey. I don't even care. Like, if she was living in Connecticut, like, all of these things would be cheaper than her paying probably $1,000-something a night or a week or whatever. And so he had come over while they were still waiting to hear the news, and they were drinking and getting to know each other and laughing. I thought shit was going to go down there, because I was like, girl, like, Michael Ealy, drinks, bed right there, y'all talking, flirting, y'all already kissed. That's just a recipe for fucking, but it didn't happen there. And I really thought it was gonna happen, because before the breaks up with Lee, because Lee comes and talks to her about this whole having a baby thing, while she is obviously aiming to get this anchor seat because she's super excited. She's like, oh my gosh, it's gonna happen, before she got the news. And she is super upset with him because he's like, I don't know, like, you know, I just realized, one, that if I have this child with you, I'll have children on 2 different continents, and you're not moving out of New York, and Zoe and the kids aren't moving from the UK, and so I just feel like this is just, I don't know if I want this. And plus, like, you're rushing into this thing, and I've seen Zoe rush into her career, and I have to pick up the pieces. And Mary Jane takes it as the fact that she's like forcing him to have this baby, and they get into this huge fight. Of course, she takes the fight as like, we're breaking up, I don't need to be with you anymore, and he's taking it as we're having an argument and we will figure it out and talk it out. But you know, Mary Jane, she jumps to conclusions and fucks up her whole shit. And it seemed to be also a problem because when she went to the office and ended up crying, she was actually doing a segment with Aaron. I'm jumping all around, but it's poorly written in general. But she ends up crying. Cara calms her down. Justin had gotten Cara to calm her down, and they both work with her to get through this really stupid segment that she ends up having to do with Aaron, that originally was supposed to be about Nick fans and how they can sway referees, and turned into this really stupid fluff piece about emojis and what they are and how we use them. And some of them that they mentioned, I didn't even know like that's what it was. Like the sign that goes like this is supposed to be girl bye or boy bye or whatever bye, and I was like, I just thought it was just like hair flip. I don't know what these emojis are. I just thought it was stupid for grown adults to be talking about emojis on morning news. Like, it just didn't make sense. But both of them kind of got through it. Justin helped Mary Jane look really good and professional, and got Aaron to open up, and they looked good together on camera. The network execs saw it, so that really helped when they did put Rhonda on blast. It helped the network execs to say, okay, Mary Jane definitely will be the replacement for Rhonda. And so, but she was still really upset about this, and I thought that this would also carry into her having sex with Justin, who did know that she broke up with Lee, but it didn't happen. But it didn't happen there. It wasn't until after they find out she's getting the anchor seat, and she's walking around this, you know, the studio, and looks at the anchor table and this chair, and she's like breathing it in, and Justin's watching her, just like taking in the moment. It's late at night, everyone's gone, and you know, she thanks him, like, you know, I'm very thankful that you had my back, and he's like, yeah, we're a team, and he touches her hand in a flirty way, and that's when the shit gets popping. And let me tell you, like, this is honest to God, I watched, maybe it might have been 2 minutes, 3 minutes of their sex scene like this. It was steamy. I thought I was drooling. I think if I left my mouth open long enough, I would have probably been drooling. I just wanted to see all the Michael Ealy just sexiness. And so, yes, she got it right there on the anchor table. I thought there would have been a camera rolling, and then Rhonda would use it as a way to blackmail her, but there was no cameras. They just had sex, great sex, steamy sex, awesome sex. And next day, it's of course kind of a little bit weird because here comes Rhonda again with the petty. So Rhonda's like, okay, congratulations, Mary Jane, for stealing my job. You didn't earn it. You stole it. You know, but I'm going to be fine because, you know, I'm Rhonda. But I hope Cara, you know, is able to survive from this, because they suspended Rhonda. And of course, she took Cara with her and was like, well, as my producer, she should have vetted this altogether. I don't care if she wasn't there for the original story. It was her job when we did the recap, when we brought it back a year later, that she should have checked the story. And so Cara gets suspended too off this. Mary Jane is so upset about this. Cara is really upset. She's like consoling Cara. Cara's blaming Justin, saying that he planned this whole thing out, that he knew that this would not only take out Rhonda, but would take out Cara too. And Mary Jane is kind of conflicted, like, oh my gosh, like, he did get me to the anchor seat, but this is my longtime friend. This is the person that brought me up here to this job. And so when she does see Justin right before she's about to go on. Well, that day that she's supposed to go on and be, do the first day as co-anchor. She's like, did you do this on purpose? Did you know? And he's like, no, I didn't know this would happen to Cara. Like, I knew that that Rhonda would get hit, but I didn't know that it would blow back also on Cara. I call bullshit on that because he definitely knows the game. He was like, he had planned this whole taking down of Rhonda like months, like at least 2 months in advance. He'd been doing the work for a long time, and so he would definitely know that they would also blame the producer attached to the co-anchor that did the story, the reporter who did the story. And so I call bullshit on that. And Mary Jane's like, what, you fuck me and that you do take down my friend, like this is how it is. And he's like, no, like I'm here from you, remember I helped you get here. And so that was weird. But at the same time, Lee, who likes to do the pop-ups because he's the king of pop-ups, pops up at her job and pretty much said, hey, he had to bribe a PA because he really shouldn't be in the building. He gets in there, comes to our office and is like, we need to talk, like this whole thing was blown out of proportion and you blew it out of proportion. Of course, Mary Jane's like, I ain't got time for this, I'm about to go and do my first day as anchor. And so he stays around because he's an adult and he's trying to have a relationship with her, and saw that this whole thing was a part of being in a relationship with give and take and compromise and arguments and makeups and breakups and all kinds of stuff. So we shall see what happens when the Being Mary Jane comes back in July. I think it's a horrible idea for them to come back in July because they're going to go not on the same night, but they're going to be competing with Insecure, and I think a lot of people, especially me, will point out how much better that show is than this one. I don't know what happened this season. Mara Kilbrock needs to come back and actually write these episodes or something, because this season so far has been just caca and hard to watch and just disjointed and just doesn't seem like a fourth season of a show. It seems like the last season because they want to get out of here, or the first season, but it's just stupid. I didn't think Lee was going to make it to the end of the season, but it seems like he will be back for after the mid-season, and we'll see if he makes it past the summer. But it seems it will get really crunk when we come back. They showed previews of Mary Jane. She's been in the anchor seat, and Rhonda's still giving her flack and saying, well, it's going to be revealed how you got this and how dirty you've been playing. And so she's not going to let this go. And it seems that Justin is like, well, I got a girlfriend and we had sex and I mean nothing to me. It was just a one night thing. She's going to be single out there. I don't know if Lee's going to come back and deal with her and her stupidness. It seems like he tries to fight for their love, but she's stupid. So we all know that Lee was too good for her in the first place. And let me know what you thought about this episode, both episodes. And let me know if you'll be back for the second part of the season when it premieres in July. And I don't know, let me know if you want me to continue this, because I don't know if I want to continue this. It's just so I cannot with this show. I don't know why. Like there's so many shows out there that are so much better. There's web series that are better than where this show is going. So I don't know. I don't know if it's time for them to cancel this, or it's just time for them to just pick up the pace on it, make it more realistic. Again, get Mary Jane out of that damn hotel, because she's not balling like that. I don't see how she is able to afford this, seeing that she's saying that buying a $1.5 or $2.4 million brownstone or loft or something is super expensive. Like, girl, if you think that's expensive, what the hell are you paying? Like, is the network paying for your housing? I don't think it is. Like, go find something nice. Go find a condo in the same building as Cara. Go do something, because this is annoying. But anyway, I will see you guys later. Thank you for checking in. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in July, maybe, hopefully. I don't know. All right, bye-bye.